Satire may be defined as an artistic form, mainly literary and a dramatic form, in which human or individual vices, follies, abuses, or any shortcomings are held up to censure by means of ridicule, derision, burlesque, irony, parody, caricature, or any other methods, sometimes with an intent, with a purpose to inspire social reform. Satire, in other words, is a literary device which uses dark humor, irony, or any exaggeration to hold up a mirror to the society. A satire is used mainly to ridicule or to scorn or to criticize the ways of a certain time period and people, while at the same time pointing out what is inherently wrong with them. Satire is a genre of literature which uses wit for the purpose of social criticism. A satire ridicules problems in societies, in governments, in businesses, and even in individuals in order to bring attention to certain follies or any weaknesses, and the purpose is improvements in them. Irony and sarcasm are often an important aspect of satire. Means mainly irony and sarcasm are the two tools or vehicles which are used to make a satire, but a satirist may also use malapropism, overstatement, understatement, even juxtaposition or any parody to highlight their point. A satire is an entertaining form of social commentary, and it occurs in many forms. Means in literature, a satire may take any shape, any form. Historically, we have observed a number of satirical novels, poems, essays, as well as satirical films and shows. Even we have seen satirical cartoons in animations and in newspapers. Satire is commonly found in genres like comic drama and comic fiction. In literary works, satire can be a direct satire or it may be an indirect satire. With the direct satire, the narrator speaks directly to the reader, means addressing the readers directly. The writer conveys his point of satire, whereas with indirect satire, the author's intention is realized within any narrative or within any story. Means instead of telling or addressing the readers directly, the satire is conveyed by the means of any other parallel narrative or parallel story. Satirists broadly use humor. Humor is an integral part of satire, and satirists use humor not only to ridicule their subjects but also to gain the attention and trust of their readers. There are some scholars that have argued that the popular appeal of satire helps in bringing about an actual reform, since the use of humor makes it easier to distribute or disseminate political and societal critiques more widely. That's why humor is so popular in satires, and that brings a change in the society. However, humor is not is a required element of satire, but most of the satires are written with humor. George Orwell's Animal Farm is one of those satires which have been written without humor. This is this satirical work, Animal Farm, is amongst the very famous satires in literature, but very few people find humor in this work. And in fact, many people find it to be deeply unsettling and not at all a funny book. But still, George Orwell's Animal Farm is a successful satire which has no satire in it, no humor in it. Now the question arises, why do writers choose to write satires? Means, what is the purpose of writing a satire? Some authors write satire simply to raise awareness of social problems and apply pressure on the individuals, or to apply a pressure on the institutions responsible for creating problems. However, satires don't have to explicitly call for social change. Means, the purpose of a satire is not always to bring about a social change. This may only be a poking fun at human follies, and it may also be written for the sake of entertainment. Writers can use satire for a variety of reasons, and some of the reasons are enlisted here. Satires may be used to bring attention to issues that might otherwise be overlooked. A satire may also be used to advocate for social reform or to provide insight into human weaknesses. A satire may also be used to amuse readers by bringing powerful figures down to a notch. A satire may also be used to invite readers to reflect on their own weaknesses and their own shortcomings. A satire may also be used to mock literary or some stylistic traditions, conventions, and satire may be used to recast strongly held convictions as harmful or considering them meaningless. Means, any convictions, any traditions which are followed by people but they have no meaning in them, and a writer may satire such practices. And lastly, satire may also be used to make light of or to dispel anxiety about unpleasant situations by making fun of them. Means, any difficult or complex situations that come in the human life, and the anxiety which results from facing such complex situation may be enlightened by writing satires by the writers. Now let us read the classification of satire. Satire can be classified based on who or what it is dealing with. Means, the subject or the target of satire. The common subjects for writing satires are mainly the political satire. First of all, the political satire brings attention to vices or evils present in a governing institution or a particular politician. So any political figure or any political party or any system of governance may be a target of satire in a political satire. Political satires bring light to problems that are often ignored by society, uh, and a satire acts as a mechanism to catalyze a change. Another kind of satire is social satire. Social satires are at common behaviors in society which are generally negative, such as the issues like the issue of ego or the issue of selfishness, which may either need to be removed or re evaluated. And writers write such satires, keeping these practices of social evils in their mind to improve people as far as such weaknesses are concerned. There are satires of everyday life also. This kind of satire of everyday life, ridicules common life and the monotony of tasks which people may fall into. The another kind of and the last classification of the satire is a philosophical satire. A philosophical satire identifies the values which may be deeply ingrained in humanity as a whole, is usually the key target of such satire. Means any values which have established amongst people and the writer feels them to be eradicated or improved may be a subject or the core idea of writing such kind of satire, the philosophical satire. Now, let us read what are the different types of satire. Traditionally, scholars or the practitioners and the critics have divided satire into two main categories: the Horatian satire and the Juvenalian satire. These labels, these two names of these two types of satire are derived from the names of the renowned Roman satirists Horace and Juvenal, and who originated each type of this satire, the Horatian from Horace and the Juvenalian from Juvenal. A third type of satire, which is less common amongst the writer, is Menippean satire, which is named after Menippus, a writer, a Greek writer, and a very famous satirist. These labels or these names are more of a classical framework for literary critics rather than a strict set of guidelines that all modern satires must follow. But they are worth reviewing because they can help make clear the wide variety of forms that satire can take. Let us first of all see Horatian satire. Horatian satire is gentler and typically comic form of satire, in which the author or narrator takes aim at the common flaws, common weaknesses in human beings, with the primary purpose of entertaining readers and offering them useful insights into their own behavior. Horatian satire is not generally written with the intention of bringing about social change. So, a Horatian satire's main purpose is to entertain the readers than to bring about any social reform or social change. Alexander Pope's poem The Rape of the Lock is an example of Horatian satire, which gently mocks the English upper class for its vanity and dull-wittedness. Another type of satire is Juvenalian satire. The Juvenalian satire is often described as dark or tragic rather than a comic satire. This kind of satire, Juvenalian satire, uses irony to highlight and to combat the wrongdoings of public figures and institutions. Juvenalian satire is distinguished from Horatian satire by the more hostile tone it takes towards its subjects. So, the tone which is often practiced in Horatian satire is gentle and humorous, whereas tone which is used in a Juvenalian satire is dark. For this reason, a Juvenalian satire is often used in more serious political writings. George Orwell's Animal Farm is a Juvenalian satire that is not funny at all. It ridicules communist government for their total lack of equality. Another type of satire which is less popular among satires is Menippean satire. Menippean satire is less common, and though it is the oldest type of satire. A Menippean satire targets mindsets or worldviews instead of targeting some specific people. So the spectrum or the area of a Menippean satire is very broad, whereas the area of Juvenalian or Horatian satire is a little narrow and more specific. There is a considerable overlap between Horatian and Menippean satire, since both the Horatian satire, which is humorous, and Menippean satire, which is also humorous, although both kinds of satire often target people's weaknesses or stupidity or vices rather than targeting specific people, the tone of Menippean satire is often harsher, which is more similar to a Juvenalian satire. So these are the three types of satire. Now, let us discuss what are the various devices which are used in satire as vehicles. Satires often depend on other literary devices to help it achieve their effect. Let us see the list of some common devices which generally satirists employ when they are mocking their subjects. First of all, the popular method is a verbal irony. Verbal irony refers to the use of words to express something other than their literal meaning. Means words are used for a specific purpose and their literal meaning is not taken into as much consideration. This type of irony depends on a disconnect between what is said and what is meant or what is true. So satirists often use irony to suggest that a speaker is too much of a fool to understand a situation, or worse, or sometimes they believe, a liar. Another tool which is used in satires as literary devices is an anachronism. An anachronism is a person or a thing that belongs to a time period other than one during which a piece of writing is set. Satirists might use anachronism to also to demonstrate how out of touch a subject is with the society or with the time. Another vehicle, another tool which is popular in writing satires is a parody. Parody is the imitation of a literary style for humorous effect. Satirical authors use parody to attack some literary conventions and also to attack some traditional forms of writing, and often they exaggerate the key characteristics of that genre until they seem ridiculous or nonsensical. Means typical characteristics of any genre are exaggerated to the level of humor. So this is a parody. Another mode is another vehicle or literary device which is used in satire is understatement. An understatement is downplaying something's size or significance or reducing the quality of something to the level of humor. This device is useful to satirists because, like irony, it can often be used to portray a speaker as deceptive or as foolish. An opposite to understatement is overstatement. Overstatement is also popular in writing satires. An overstatement is the exaggeration of something's size, exaggeration of something's significance, or multiplying the quality of some person or place or thing. This device can also be used to underscore a speaker's shaky grasp on the reality of any given situation. Another device, literary device used in satire is juxtaposition. A juxtaposition is a literary device in which an author places two things next to each other, and the purpose is to highlight the contrast between them. In satirical writing, juxtaposition is especially effective when the combination is startling or unexpected. And lastly, the important literary device used in satire is malapropism. Malapropism is the humorous and usually unintentional use of a word in the place of a similar sounding one, which arouses humor. Because these speech errors have the potential to be embarrassing. That's why satirists portray people as fools by giving them malapropistic lines, and when they speak such lines, they appear to be humorous. So, malapropism is also a popular literary device in writing satire. Let us now see some examples of satire in English literature. First of all, let us discuss Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift, who is one of the leading satirists of his time, wrote Gulliver's Travels as a satire of human nature and especially an anti-Whig satire, Whig political party. Gulliver, the character in this work, Gulliver's Travels, Gulliver travels to several different lands, including the famous encounter with the Lilliputians, a society of people only a few inches tall. Means people are very, very small in sizes. They have the height of a few inches. He comes across the Lilliputians, the people of a certain land. One example of satire in the book is that some Lilliputian men wear high heels and other wear low heels. And the men who wear low heels are in power and will only appoint other men to government who wear low heels only. Clearly, government appointments have nothing to do with this ability, the height of heels. So in this way, it is a direct attack on the separation of Whigs and the Tories in English culture. Let's see another example of satire in English literature, which is Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Mark Twain hated slavery, and he used Huckleberry Finn to point out the inhumane way that slave owners treated slaves. Slaves were treated in a very bad manner, and this was highlighted by the writer in his satirical work. While some critics contend that the book is racist, the writer was strongly against racism. He used the characters of Jim and Miss Watson for this writing to highlight the hypocrisy of slavery. Miss Watson, who in this work is called a good Christian woman, so that readers may realize that what she propagates to stand for is in direct opposition to her actions. In order to understand completely and to enjoy the satire, one should read this work. And lastly, let us read another example of satire in English literature, which was written by George Orwell, Animal Farm by George Orwell. George Orwell's satire Animal Farm directly echoes the events of the Russian Revolution. The writer replaces the Russian people with animals on a certain farmhouse, a farm, with the leading figures of communism represented by pigs. At first, these pigs are supportive of equal rights for all animals, but gradually they give themselves all the benefits and exclude the other animals from the reward of the farm. So a disparity, a discrimination falls upon that group of animals. So this is kind of work is a satirical work is Animal Farm by George Orwell. So this is all about the discussion of satire, their types, their kinds, their classification, and their purposes, and some of the examples of famous example of satires in English literature. Thank you.